Does everything happen for a reason? And is there such thing as the one? And are you here for Reggie and Joelle getting it on? And we have a very, very, very special guest for you guys. That and more. Season 2, episode 10, the last one. Dear White People, coming up.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, hey.
Get my money fast and go fast, fast like a Lambo.
Oh, okay.
Jumping off the stage, okay.
Those moves you put on there, I think we can go to the club.
I'm the fourth Migos, right?
Oh, I didn't know. That's what you do on your off time. Welcome, guys. My name is TK Trinidad. Dear White People, episode 10, season 2. Let's get into it. I'm going to introduce my co-host. We have the beautiful one, Ivanna Williams.
Oh, hi. Thank you, beautiful. Hey, y'all. It's Ivanna.
We have the man, the myth, the legend, the handsome Keith Andre.
Hey, y'all. Hey.
And the fourth Migo and model part-time, Nate Miller.
That way.
And our very special guest, he plays Wesley Alvarez on Dear White People, Rudy Martinez.
Hey guys.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Have you seen any of our, I don't even want to put you on the spot, but now I have. Have you seen any of our after shows?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so I just, sometimes,
I love them.
Sometimes get a little wild, so I didn't want
Okay.
I didn't want to be like, somebody invite you to
No.
AfterBuzz again. It's like, nah, I'm not.
No, I've seen what I'm getting into.
Okay. It's like I need to research just.
I'm prepared.
Definitely, we're gonna finish up our last and final for this season because they haven't announced it, but I know Dear White People season 3 is gonna happen. I'm putting it in the clouds. Jesus, take the wheel. We are gonna be doing our Dear White People segment, but let's get into it. How did you guys like the last episode?
I liked it. I felt it was very fitting. I wasn't mad at it.
Yeah, I agree. I was here for it. It's a nice close, put a bow on him. Looking forward to the
Right,
next
yeah.
part of the story.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed.
Ah,
Why? Nate?
shocking.
I held the first season to a very high standard, which it lived up to, and I don't think this season matches it. And especially the last episode, it feels more like it's like a season 1.5 than a season 2. It just feels like a big tease, and we got this big reveal that essentially means nothing, and then everybody just like had sex this episode. I was like, here, everybody have sex, and now you find Order X, come back next
What's wrong
season.
with that?
I know. I was here for this. Actually.
Okay.
I just expected more, that's all.
Now, did you get to watch it before it came out on Netflix, or did you watch it?
I
when
watched
came
it
on Netflix?
the day it came out, like the midnight it came out.
Okay.
I was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
didn't you didn't know, because obviously you guys shot more than what was kind of in there. So
You mean
You
like?
got shot. What?
no, I mean
saying
filmed
that
filmed more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's always a little bit more that they film that gets cut out. For me, it was like that's pretty much what we filmed.
Okay. Wait, are you talking about the sex scene too?
Yeah, I'm talking about the sex scene.
Damn. I got so many
Okay.
questions about that sex.
I know.
I'm glad you don't ask.
I know that was
I didn't wanna
gonna
be
be
the
what we were
one.
gonna talk about in
Oh, well, let me know when you're ready.
We're gonna kind of
Turns page.
Oh, I'm ready. So,
so Lionel and Wesley kind of get it on. So you wanna hit off with the questions? You said you had some questions.
oh yes, I do. First of all, in our live chat, what's going on, y'all? Somebody already said hello, Rudy. Yeah, and they said, hey, I'm so happy Lionel finally got some buns.
Wow.
To me, I mean, you're just so new and like young and fresh on TV. So I didn't know if you'd ever filmed a sex scene like that before. It was so real and awkward. Yeah.
No, I've never filmed a sex scene before. I've never done like a kiss on TV before.
Oh wow.
I mean, I've done like my share of like TV and stuff, but I've never done. I'm not really considered for parts like that.
Yeah.
So,
Understand.
so it was new, but it was fun and it was exciting.
Yeah.
It was definitely awkward,
was
but
awkward
you know,
to
not
watch.
in a bad way.
Yes, it was.
In a,
yeah,
I think in a good
like,
way, in the way they
yes.
intended it, and it's
Exactly.
not like a traditional sex scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
When I interviewed Justin Simien about y'all's sex scene specifically, I said, you know, it was just so awkward, but it felt so real and humanizing. And he said, yeah, I mean, because so many times in films or, you know, television shows, it's like so glamorous and beautiful,
Yeah.
and that's not how
Yeah.
it is, you know, and it's Lionel and he's awkward. So I really appreciated that part. Did y'all talk each other through the blocking? Like, I wonder how
Yeah. Was there a sock involved?
There was a sock involved.
You
No,
guys,
I mean,
you guys know what the
Yeah,
sock is.
just one
Sure
shot.
do. I know where it goes.
No, yeah, it's like when I arrived that day to set, I had a choice of I could pick my costume, and it was a sock, it was a G-string,
Hey.
or a pasty,
Pasty.
and then I think like a brief, kind of like a small brief, and I was like, I'll take the brief.
Oh, okay.
And then you go and you rehearse, and then you just shoot it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I thought you were completely naked. You said you took the brief.
Yeah, because I think when you
You know
saw them,
what?
you saw them
I
from
didn't think they
the
were
hip
gonna
up.
be
Yeah.
naked, yeah.
You didn't see.
Any?
Well, I saw Duran's butt cheeks.
Did you?
Sure, yeah.
I'm gonna have to roll
Wasn't
that
he?
back. I didn't see those.
No, you actually might have
You
seen
just
it when
see
they're
the small
doing
of his
when
back.
they're over top. You saw the small of his back, but when you're seeing them on top of each
Okay,
other.
so did
it's
he
just
also
the
choose briefs?
He did, but I'm pretty sure they made him wear
the
sock?
the
Exactly.
sock.
Thank
Yeah,
you. So,
at
no,
one
so I
point.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
that
sure.
was. I think that was the last scene where they cut away. So like they're actually. I think he says this feels
We
nice.
get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
It might have been blurred out, you know.
Okay, well that's all my question. I'll leave it alone. I just really wanted to know how y'all shot that scene because I didn't know if I had seen, the guy who plays Lionel. I didn't ever think he did any sex scenes like that, so I just didn't know how that was able to work with you
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Justin is such a great director
Yes.
that it was. He talked us through it. He told us about what his vision was, and it was. I like that it was played for comedy and played for the awkwardness.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys did a great job. I mean, it was a beautiful display of that. Both of you have a background in theater. Both are trained. So, and like you said, when you think of like stature or who's going for sex scenes, I think both of you are not on quote unquote the list. So
Right.
it's nice to see actors and people of color and be seen in that light when it's not a role that's quote unquote for that type of exposure.
Yeah.
So speaking of sex scenes, what the first topic we're talking about is just essentially sex scenes in the friendships. Coco and Kurt, were you guys there for that?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No?
It's not my.
Now, is it because of his race, or is it just because of who he is, or is that?
I think it's a little bit of
She-
both.
d-
For
you're
me, I
disgusting.
didn't feel.
No, because she looks. I mean, I wasn't surprised that she was with a white guy. It's just that white guy. It's like that wasn't surprising that she was with that white guy. It was just kind of like, I don't know.
I didn't expect Coco to be
To be with a white guy?
Mm-mm.
Oh no, I
You still
I
picture
wouldn't
her
be
like
surprised.
dating and marrying a black man?
I don't know. I don't really think about her that much.
Like to call,
Not in a bad way, but I don't
Okay.
really look at her character and think like, ooh, let's see, she's gonna end up with so and so. But seeing like somebody have sex, I just didn't expect it to be.
She
like,
was a little
interracial.
reluctant though. I mean, because she was kind of using him for, I guess, to get like the faculty
The
codes
info-
to get
Yeah.
everybody into the theater. And he talked about wanting to move forward,
Yeah.
and she was a little like,
Well, was it moving forward, or he just wanted to kiss her? Because
don't know.
he wanted to kiss her on the lips, and she's like, no. Because everybody has their different things. So, like, to some people, it's not a relationship if you don't kiss the person on the lips. So she didn't want to do a relationship. She's probably still down to sleep with him. But he wanted to kiss her, and maybe to him, that's not being a relationship. That's he just wanted to kiss her because, ethnic folks have nicer lips. So it's just kind of like one of those. It's just one of those things. She probably had juicy lips and he wanted to kiss her, and she's like, no, like it doesn't follow my rules and my guidelines. However, I do see there's a possibility with them because they both seem like they're very driven people, and it doesn't seem like Coco would be hung up on the fact that he's not black as long as he's doing what in her mind a man, a husband, a father should do. So I mean, if you can get a white dude, you might as well get with the one who's gonna have some pull.
Someone with status.
Yeah.
I would like to call attention to last week when we talked about the kinship between Sam's mom and Coco.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'd like to say.
Oh,
Okay.
you're so smart.
Come on, man.
oh,
Come on.
I see.
You just jot that gem there. Just,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I was not surprised at all. I actually like them together because I think that I think she has the power in the relationship, and he likes her, and I think also likes not being able to have the power.
Yeah,
And she would be able to do
just run stuff.
whatever she wants. You know what I mean?
As long as he doesn't get into that freaky white guy thing, that's the whole issue.
I mean, but if that's what she wants, let her have what she wants.
no, but that's not. We'll talk
Like
about
race
after
play.
No,
Wait, fetish
Whoa.
side.
no, there's
I was like, what do you say?
No,
Fetish side.
some there's different types of white guys, and some white guys, like, you know, they date a black girl because she's just they just want to date a black girl, and then they have one of the white guys who, like, they just want them. Some white guys. They want them to control them, so they're into like the BDSM and all that type of stuff. And Coco's not about that life. So as long as he's not into that life, then, you know,
I could
race
see Coco
play.
being a dominatrix.
she could in like a very gentle way, but not like she has like a
How
closet
can you be
full
a
of.
gentle dominatrix?
You slap somebody on the ass, like that's considered dominatrix.
Right, but I just need.
That's like gentle, but she has a closet full of
I
whips.
feel like
Right.
That's a whole different thing.
Okay.
He's like, oh my god.
Back on track.
So Al is on a mission. He wants to find out
Yeah,
who
he
burned
is.
down Davis' house. How do you guys feel about that? It feels like he was kind of in the direction with like Reggie or Troy, and now he's kind of created his own clique
Yeah.
on this mission.
I think it's for the storyline, I think it's a great idea because I was expecting to see more of him this season, but I feel like this is setting him up to really explore his character more for next season,
Yeah.
third season. So I'm not surprised that he found his own way, and I think publicly, as Black folks, we're allowed to disagree with each other, and you know, we want liberation, we want freedom, and there's different avenues that we all try to get there.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been my question too. Like, for example, when Stacey Dash came and did her tomfoolery about a year ago, like I feel like, are we in the position where we can disagree amongst others, or should we just disagree within our circle until we get it together and then let the world see, you know, what we've kind of come to? Because that's kind of my belief. When you have people who like a Stacey Dash or whoever, and they're the outliers, they're still providing, you know, Kanye West, they're still providing the folks who are not necessarily for us negative views. So do you think that we should like all get together and disagree amongst ourselves and then figure it out, or is it just like, hey, it is what it is? And
I don't think I mean, how are we supposed to all come together like
I don't know.
publicly
It's just-
and keep folks out, especially in the age of social media?
yeah,
I
it's
don't
just
know.
more of a dream.
Sure.
Hope a dream.
Create a utopia.
Create a utopia where we get it together. I mean, you know, they burned down all the places when we were creating places like that, but you
Yeah.
know, digress. So Al discovers the tape. He finds that it was oh my gosh, I have his name somewhere. Clifton. He was the one who set the thing on fire in the microwave. That's why Davis' house is no longer. Why do you think they were holding back the tape? Because if they showed the tape, it's like, okay, he burned it down by accident. They have to move in with you temporarily, and once they get it back, like, I mean, why didn't they just show the tape?
Why didn't like the faculty?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Al really needed it to be on purpose, and he finds out. That
Right.
It's, yeah.
But the thing is, if they showed the tape, like if everybody discovered it was Clifton who did it by accident,
Yeah.
then there wouldn't be, like, some of the issues wouldn't be an issue, because you know that these people from Davis'
all
house
just
moved
an
in
accident.
is all an accident.
Right.
And
Good
it's not
question,
done on
yeah.
purpose.
That would-
Obviously, for the story, it makes sense, but
I feel like that would be strange for the school to like just show like, hey, there was an accident here. Anybody who wants to see the security footage, they can see it.
well, the school didn't make it aware of what happened. It just was that the school burnt down. The Davis house burnt down. They didn't
Right.
say it was an accident.
Right.
You didn't have to say who did it, but you could
Yeah.
say it was a glitch or electrical error or something like that. It just, they made it seem like the Davis house burnt down, and that could have been done in several ways.
I think they said it was an accident, and Al didn't believe it was an accident.
Yeah.
And that's why he went on looking.
And now, how do you feel? Al, like his face, and it reminds me of like a Spike Lee.
Yes.
Was it Do the Right Thing or something like
It
that?
does feel a lot like the Spike
That
Lee
moment, films.
Mhm.
Yeah,
shot.
You're right.
yeah. Just double check.
Yes,
That's what you
yes,
film
yes.
sure. So
Yes,
who's
it
here?
was very Spike Lee. Yes.
very
There's lots of Spike Lee influences
Yeah.
across both seasons of this show.
So he was here for Reggie and Joel.
I am. I said that a few weeks ago. I
Me
wanted
too.
them to pair up.
Okay.
I don't know. I just can't imagine like trying to be with a guy after my best friend. I'm just having a hard time. That's
There was
all.
that kind of awkward moment when
You
he.
know.
She,
And I
she told
appreciate
him,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate when Sam said, you know y'all don't owe me shit, right? But I'm just like,
But the last look that she gave before she closed the door,
yeah.
what was that
Little,
look about?
It was a little negative, kind of like a.
Was it a negative,
Ah.
or was it like,
I think it
I'm
was-
taking a last look in because he might have a big thing. Like I just appreciate.
I don't think that it was
But they
that.
already slept together.
Just appreciate because
Going
he.
places.
They already went there.
Yeah, I think it was a natural reaction. I mean, nobody wants to be a hater. So I
Right.
think she had to check that, but it is like, well, wow, they're about to like.
But she only slept with him once.
And they're
though.
about to create
Yeah,
something
but
like
don't
really,
you feel like a sense of ownership a little bit?
like maybe a
You
little
starting
like
a collection
possessive.
in future over here?
Well, it kind of feels it kind of feels like how her and Reggie got
Yeah, I
together.
might.
It was such a dicey situation. It wasn't like he
It was a mistake.
yeah.
It was like
He was
not-
pursuing her.
Yeah.
And obviously Troy got to her first, and then she got to Gabe, and then like in that, it was how it happened. It seemed like it was more of a mistake.
Yeah, it's not like they went out on a few dates and then hooked up a few times
Right.
and then
Yeah.
it didn't work out. Like she was rebounding off of being upset about Gabe, and he was freaking out because he just had a gun pointed in his face and he was
Yeah.
super vulnerable.
for sure. But I still think it's a natural reaction if you slept with someone to like take a gaze and be like,
Yeah.
But if you're-
and now they're with
about
your
it.
best friend.
But
It's
if
just awkward.
you are in if you're in that moment and you're single, for sure. But if you're in that moment and you just she just is now reconnecting with Gabe and we see them
Yeah.
in bed too, I don't think she's.
I would.
Really,
Yeah.
You would. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you
I think that would
believe-
be understandable.
I think that look was because I appreciate the human body, and Reggie looks like he looked good naked.
You really
like,
think
I
that that's
feel
what it is?
I feel like it was like a last because she didn't get to appreciate it the first time because they were both so distraught.
Yeah.
So she's doing a look back like, oh,
I
okay.
think she got
I
to
think she
appreciate it.
appreciates.
Yeah.
Well, she appreciated the main
she
part,
appreciated it.
but like the
No,
then
she
she
Yeah, I
appreciated
remember
it. You need to
that
go back
look.
and watch that
Yeah.
scene because she appreciated all of it.
Okay.
They were like,
Right.
Yeah, it seems like she was
Come
letting.
chest and like it was like a
Seems like she was
Nubian
letting him
African
go.
like
Okay.
sensual
yeah.
dream. It was very
no, I'm not saying she didn't like it, but the thing is, when you only do it once, you can't appreciate the person from all the angles.
Says
So she
who?
might have got a different angle that she didn't see the
TK's
first
in there
time.
like, all right, okay, now turn. Okay, now
Let me get some
stand still.
pictures.
TK like,
Okay?
okay,
Yeah.
Let me-
so
let me
now,
paint you.
Yeah, and
Right.
then send the picture so I can collect it in the gallery.
Yes. Oh
So
my God.
yeah.
We want to create a virtual copy so we can hologram so then you can watch it all the
Next.
time.
Sam and Gabe, you guys here for their back together, or do you think it was just do you think it was a get?
I don't even know how I feel.
They got back together sexually as far as a form of goodbye, like they're ending it, or is this a restart to the relationship?
I think it's a restart.
Frustrating is what it is.
Gosh.
I don't know if it's a restart or not. I think they both,
Just
needed
missed
each
each
other. In
other,
that moment.
yeah.
Right. They wanted it, but I don't know if it'll be the continuation of their relationship.
And I think she texted him after she saw Joel and Reggie.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Just putting it out there.
That's how it be.
Just how it be.
You just need a little spark or something to be like,
A little spark. Let's get a little spark of that live read though.
Oh yes, hey AfterBuzzers.
Only the smoothest of friends.
Yeah, child.
Well, I mean, it's all the way over there. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna
But
do
I
this.
got
Let's
you.
just.
I'm quick with it, honey. Here at the network, we produce after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more. There's no network that works harder to serve television fans, okay? But now we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. Besides helping us a ton, here's what's in it for you. It caters specific content you already like directly to you. It brings you your favorite after shows so you don't have to seek them out. And it suggests content from other channels or podcasts that might interest you. Subscribing to our YouTube channels will also help you discover new shows we're sure you'll love. Since you're already tuned in to our comedy, you can also watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Younger. Those are some shows you might be interested in. And remember, we have channels for other genres as well. So please don't be shy about subscribing to them either. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, you don't have to, because they're optional. We don't want to blow you up, okay? It's easy. Just hit the subscribe button now for an even easier AfterBuzz experience. And if you let us know that you did in the comments, we'll shout you out on air. Thanks for being the best fans, and we promise to continue to do our best to serve you. Speaking of our fans, you have a big fan in here. Trini Boy 27
Oh,
said you
yeah.
look amazing today, TK.
Oh.
Just saying.
Thanks, homie.
Just saying. He's laughing at your little jokes and stuff. You killing me, TK. Girl. TK got a fan.
All right.
He was with us the last time we did Dear White
Oh, I
People.
know.
Okay,
Yeah.
just let you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of, with Sam and Lionel, they're on the hunt for the secret society, Order X. Do you think they should be doing something other than that?
Like y'all don't have nothing else to do.
It was finals week. Like they're staying for the finals. Like the last thing you want to do is comb through. Like
Now I
don't-
gotta solve
Yeah.
some history.
like
Damn.
he's staying through all his finals, and now he developed a whole system of
Yeah.
finding the order of X. No, you
No,
know.
I agree with him.
I was
So
just
it
like,
is a lie.
I-
What are you
I
gonna say?
I agree. But I mean, if you have a mark on your door and they were like marked,
Yeah.
you kind of have to like scratch that itch. I don't know.
You do.
yeah, but it's like not your door technically, because you know it's like
It
dorm
could have
room.
been Joelle. Like,
Yeah,
or,
it could have been Joelle, or that could have been there like the whole season, and nobody
Maybe,
noticed
yeah.
it until it was. You know, it's like it's not it's not brand new per se, but I mean it's finals week, so like
Yeah.
the last thing I wanted to do after I finished my finals was read some more.
Yeah.
Like so,
As
kudos
far-
to them. for
As far
doing
as the
that.
X on the door, I don't remember them alluding to an X on the door in season 1. So I felt like this was new, and they're trying to get some
Yeah.
of the young black students' attention on purpose.
Yeah.
And they didn't do it last season. So
But it'd be kind of funny if they just didn't notice it. You know, like say
it
they
was
put
just
the
there
X
all
on the
it's
along.
been
door
there for like
All along.
decades.
and they didn't notice it. Just
Been there
Yeah.
for years.
It's been there for years. So, with the help of Sam's dad, which was amazing, which here's my question too. Do you think Sam's dad either knew somebody from the Order of X or was a line? No?
No, I think he just found those old books on
He found
Winchester.
the old books, but he just seemed so it just seems like people who are not of the culture who are so
like he wanted to
invested.
be a nice white and help out.
No, not he was he was beyond that though. Like you have those people,
Yeah.
but then you have people who are genuinely like they're you could tell the difference. And to me, he didn't seem like I want to save all the black people. Sorry, he just seemed like he genuinely like wanted to know about the culture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He wanted to like help to tell a story, like an
Right.
untold story or something.
Yeah, but not like on the Gabe sense.
Not that
yeah,
way.
Yeah.
No.
So but it seems like he's been doing this for such a long period of
Yeah.
time, like college days.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering in his college days if he had met somebody from the Order of X that and then fast forward, he now found these books, and was it all a play?
Possibly. I don't know.
Maybe it could all tie in
Right?
later.
You're sitting over there like you know something.
Oh, I don't technically.
He
No, I don't.
might.
You said
No, I don't.
technically. You said technically.
Yeah.
No, I don't
So what do you mean
actually know
technically?
anything. I don't really.
You can mess up now. We're like, so what do you mean?
Just with me taking like, look. So they kind of find everything out through the books and the X's on the doors. They go to the point where is it the basement, right? Mm-hmm.
It's the bell tower.
Oh, it's about
Yeah.
it's the bell
That's where I
tower.
end up, yeah.
Didn't we see the dog again up there too?
Yeah.
Sorbet.
Yeah.
Sorbet
Yeah.
gets rediscovered. Why do you think there was a reason why Lionel saw Sorbet 3 times and Sorbet is kind of because we see Sorbet in season 1, but it seems like Sorbet almost has
Well, she's talking now.
yeah.
Sorbet is also voiced by Loretta Devine.
Yeah.
So
you
Loretta
think-
Devine got something to tell us.
He
Yeah.
was tripping balls.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but still,
Sorbet has a purpose.
Sorbet,
yes.
the Sorbet have a purpose for season 3.
I don't think so. I think you're reading into it. I think it was just funny for Sorbet to show up there.
Well,
3
Sorbet's
times
going to be the
though.
new narrator now that
I love that.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
He's now
there,
has
yeah.
broken the
yeah,
fourth wall.
yeah.
and has-
So now it's going to be.
I
Just
mean,
kidding.
No, I love that.
I love that.
Dog person. I'm
I
like,
mean,
yes,
just
Sorbet, tell
that-
us
that-
the
To it, that'd be
story.
interesting.
that would be interesting.
Tell me the
Just
story.
saying. I think there's a reason why we see Sorbet like that.
Yeah.
Because we see Sorbet in season 1, but Sorbet was just
It almost feels like what's like when you're playing a mystery. You have like little what you call
Clues.
they give you like clues and hints and stuff. So I think so.
Yeah, like Sorbet is a breadcrumb.
Yeah, when
Every
you
time
reach
she
it, yes,
show up,
exactly.
you find another
so
piece.
they get to the
Yes.
bell tower, and before we have the mystery
Games.
guests show up, they kind of essentially voice everything that's been happening for the semester. Like Lionel's kind of getting to a place where he's he has a guy that likes him, but now the guy doesn't want to be in a relationship because he thinks that's not the thing, which
Right.
kind of heartbreaking.
It
Well, I think
is.
I think he wants to be with Lionel, but he just doesn't want to be bound by,
Yeah, but
the
when people,
confines of gender norms and.
it feels like when people say that, like
Yeah,
they might
you're
be
right.
in the one-on-one relationship, but then it's like if they haven't discussed being in a relationship, then Wesley can hop
Yeah.
off to
That's an easy out. You might
Yeah.
say that to set the
It's like
table.
we weren't really together, but we're hanging out now. But I can hang out with
I have a
Hendrix.
question about that
Yeah.
because I feel like in a lot of heterosexual relationships, they like are very what do you call it? Like it's all about monogamy. You know, they're very critical on monogamy. So I don't know in the LGBT community if y'all are more open to polyamory or having more open relationships at all.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't read any
He's like, no.
studies,
No.
but you know.
You said, so
like,
that y'all also like
no,
prefer
no.
I mean,
That's
no,
Keith.
for me, I can only speak for myself. I, you know, we've all have had experiences, but I don't think that it's a big, like, people who are just like, oh, let's do this and hang out, but it's okay if we see other people and define it. I think it's that same, like, thread of human experience. You naturally want to be with just one person, or I feel like in Wesley's case, maybe because he is young or his past experiences, he doesn't know that he's ready to be in a one-on-one relationship. But I don't be talking about no polyamory.
What are your thoughts? Or did you say no?
No, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's more prevalent.
Because I think like now, as you know, we're becoming more fluid sexually and with gender, and a lot of people are just making their own terms for relationships and even marriage as a whole. Like maybe you're married to one person, but you're still open and you have an open marriage. And I know a lot of times it's still taboo, and we don't want to talk about it in the heterosexual community. Yeah, so I just didn't know in the LGBTQ community if you had, what are your thoughts?
I mean,
on
you
that?
have you. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I mean, like I would say LGBTQ people maybe are already sort of accustomed to bucking the status quo in terms of norms, and
Right,
so maybe
yeah,
they're just more open to broach the subject with their partner.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
know.
just more open to the experience. And I think, too, it's like deal breakers. I feel like with a lot of heterosexual relationships or just the way society is set up, you naturally want to say, okay, you cheat, it's a deal breaker, you do this. So I think it is maybe just being open to the fact that some things can happen and it doesn't mean that this has to be the end of a relationship.
Right.
But that also doesn't mean that I want to be played and cheated on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when you're talking about like kind of flowing the fluidity, that's more of the generation below us. Like oh my gosh, the girl who plays Akilah the Bee and Kiki Palmer and Olivia from Cosby Show. Like they've talked about
Ravens?
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
like Olivia
I
from
was like
Cosby
Olivia
Show.
Raven.
What?
Yeah.
But
I think
they're
Raven is more our generation.
yeah, but she speaks on that. Like she's spoken on, the sexual fluidity, and like that's kind of been something that's one of those things where it's now becoming I don't want to say the norm, but it's now
more
accepted.
engagement.
Yeah, people are exploring it more for sure.
So.
Yeah, it's just tough for me to speak on because it's a perspective that I don't have. I only have something that from what I see and people I talk to. But one of the things that I find interesting is I think I used to have these discussions with my friends where we would talk about just homosexuality in general. How like people would say, well, like everybody's gay now, and it's like, well, no, that's not true. People have been homosexual since the dawn of time. They were just unable to talk about it.
Talked about in the Bible.
And so now that people are feeling comfortably able to express themselves, you hear about it more often. So the perspective from some people might be shallow based on what they see, but I think this might be a case of the similar thing of people in general feeling more comfortable speaking about things. So then people are like, oh my God, this is happening all of a sudden, when the reality is no, this has always been a thing.
Right.
It's just people don't talk about it.
And I think one of the stereotypes too that why you would assume that is because if you remember the whole AIDS epidemic, the rumor was, you have all these guys sleeping with each other and they don't have relationships and all this other stuff, and now you come with that stereotype like, okay, well, if this is, and that wasn't even the case. So I think it just came up with a whole bunch of those stereotypes. But they're kind of venting. They had a tough semester, but he shows up, order of X. Where do you think this is going to be leading to?
Child, a whole new world.
Yeah.
Yeah. They spent so much of this season opening up the door for something completely new and unexpected, I think, for season 3. I have no idea where all this is going to go.
Yeah, I think
Because
we'll
they're going to
see-
be, are they going to be seniors next year?
I think some are going to be juniors, some are going to be seniors.
I think. I mean, I
thought
could
majority of
be
them were
wrong, but I
juniors.
thought like season 2 is like
Sophomore?
weeks after the end
Yeah.
of
It's not
season
like a
1.
year
It's not.
later,
Yeah.
It's just a few weeks.
Oh, okay.
So I think this might be this might be the end of their sophomore year because they made references to the year before.
Yeah.
So I think this might be their end of their sophomore year and they're going to be juniors. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think they are going to go down this path and discover the world of like secret society and with Sam and Lionel trying to get in or leading that forefront.
Yeah, and we'll definitely dive deeper into the Black history at the college.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping not only will we have the fictitious or maybe real Black history of the college, but also they'll throw facts that we don't know of, we don't know about. So, for instance, Black History Month comes around, we hear about Rosa Parks, we hear about Martin Luther King, we hear about Malcolm X, but other things that have been around that we don't know about that we can also be educated on as well. So that's what I'm hoping that Justin will do with that.
Yes.
Awesome blossom.
How do you feel about?
I don't know. I mean, I love Juan Carlos Esposito.
Yes.
So I'm excited for whatever he's going to be part in, but I just, the teases throughout the season about the societies and stuff were just not that interesting to me, and the payoff was not worth it. And just like you said, how the things that you're excited about are the things that I'm nervous about. The fact that we have no idea what this structure of them being a part of the secret society is going to look like. How is that going to affect the show? What characters are going to join? What characters aren't? Like, there's a lot of things that are completely up in the air that I am not really happy with. Yeah, because they even touched on some of the secret societies already, like the white secret, all of the other ones, I should say, instead of the white ones, being involved with like the alt IVW account and stuff like that. But then they never dug into it deeper than that, other than just it's the same symbol on the fake Twitter. That's it. And to me, if that's as far as we're going to go now, and we're talking about the already established groups that we've seen that are not really that hidden, what are we going to do with the one that is for like the main characters of the show, which has been gone extensively for the first 2 seasons, except for the last 6 minutes of season 2. But that's just me.
Okay. Questions that need answers.
Wow. Well, hopefully season 3. Did they announce when you guys are coming back?
Not.
You're not supposed to lie. You're supposed to wait till he
single-
answers the question.
No, I mean I know nothing.
Okay.
I'm
I mean, the
John
face you're
Cena.
giving is like
Yes.
you know some
We're-
stuff,
We're
but
patiently waiting.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're gonna come back. I mean, they're Emmy nominated, D-Ron is nominated, so
Yeah. So Justin said like hang tight, don't book anything.
I literally.
I mean, I have to try. I have to
You're
try.
trying to trick me.
Right?
Yeah, I
But
mean,
there's-
just get those
I
press
do have
releases
another
out.
question for
book?
you before we leave. What were some of your favorite TV shows growing up?
Oh gosh.
That's a good question.
Some of my favorite TV shows. I mean, I can't even. Oh, this is so nerdy. I mean,
It's us growing up. It's fine.
growing up or
Yeah, no judgment. Or even now.
I'm a super nerd.
like when I was 10, I liked sitting with my mom on the couch and like watching Party of Five and like Melrose Place and,
okay.
or 90210. Like,
I love it. I was not expecting that. So what about now? What are your?
but
favorite
I also watch like kids shows too, like Nickelodeon stuff, and
Yeah.
I didn't have Disney Channel, so I couldn't watch
I don't think
anything.
any of
You
us
had
did.
Nickelodeon, but not Disney Channel.
Yeah.
That's so random.
We had like the cable package that had like
Right.
Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
and then we didn't.
Yeah, I think
'Cause they
Disney's
didn't
like the
bring it back
extra.
for Disney
Disney's
Channel.
like the extra. Yeah.
Wow.
Nickelodeon's like, you making you kind of sort of
You
middle
making the
class.
basic
Yeah,
cable.
you kind of sort of middle.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah.
Nickelodeon, Cartoon
Yeah.
Network, it's all basic cable.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Lucky y'all.
Dope,
I didn't see
dope.
any of that.
I mean, unless, never mind.
What's
Oh, and
next
The
for
Simpsons.
you?
Mm.
Oh yes, The Simpsons.
Do you
What's-
still watch The Simpsons?
No.
Okay, I don't think.
I mean,
anybody does.
it's
I
prophetic
don't know if
though.
they
They've
make the
been
Okay.
hinting at things for
show. I
years.
mean, when you have like over 1,000 episodes,
Yeah.
you're gonna get a couple
Something's
guesses,
gonna
right?
land.
Yeah.
Right, something's gonna land. We're gonna get
hit
something
yeah.
sooner or
landing.
later.
So
Nobody-
as far as your career, I do want to know what else you have coming up.
You got
for
a play
I wanna-
coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a play right now at the Gary Marshall Theater in Burbank.
Yeah.
And
What's your play?
it's called Woodboy Dogfish.
Okay.
And it's a modern, sort of darker, more adult Pinocchio.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
So I play the Pinocchio character, but I play it through a puppet. So I sing and dance and act through this little puppet.
Nice.
That is,
Interesting.
yeah.
It's very
Go
artsy, very
see.
dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Say
But
the
it's
title
fun.
again.
Woodboy Dogfish.
Wood boy,
Wood
dogfish.
boy dog.
okay. Follow-up question: were you a puppeteer before this show?
Yes.
No, not really.
Wow. So you had to
No.
learn
I had
just for.
I had to learn how to.
Wow.
I mean, I've done some puppetry,
Uh-huh.
but nothing like
Nothing,
this. Like
yeah.
I spent the entire show doing like a puppet, and it's like a
Wow.
2-hour show.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it was a huge learning curve. But
That's cool.
Nice.
And now you know how to do it.
Ambitious. Yeah.
Fascinating.
For you guys who are joining on iTunes, don't forget to give us 5 stars or better. Follow us on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up. Well, bums up. Thumbs up.
Hey.
That was my
up.
character.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, that could be a whole nother. I'm not even gonna. So subscribe to our comedy channel and all of that good stuff. Which brings us to the very end of the season. Ricky Carter, she makes her appearance. She lets us know that it's all fake. She's just acting, which kind of has. I wonder if Tommy Lauren and Candace, whatever her name is.
Owens.
Kellyanne.
No, Candace Owens. Well, yeah, and Kellyanne.
Who doesn't even believe the things that she says.
Right. So I wonder if they're all in the same group as well.
What do you mean?
As far as kind of all the stuff that they're saying, they're just saying it in order to make the money versus
I
what
think
they
so.
believe.
Yeah. And, you know, a couple weeks ago, I was saying that, yes, these people are smart enough to get to a certain point, but it doesn't seem like they're that intelligent. And it almost comes off as if they're acting. And even I think Tessa Thompson alluded to that as well. Like, basically, you play your part and you get your money.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that she proved me right. And I could see as well that that's also what, you know, Justin and some of the other writers were thinking as well. When it comes to these black conservatives, you know, it's like you have a responsibility to our community, but if you don't feel that way, so be it. But they view it as acting. It's like, I'm just playing this part and I'm going to get my money. It's so selfish and I hate
It's
it.
so
But
sad.
it is the truth.
I think
It's not even to like the black people. You had the one guy or both the guy and the lady on
Carson.
Fox yesterday talking about, you know, laughing at the fact that families were getting separated. And one lady saying that the people, the children that were in the cages, they weren't really cages. They were just fences. Like, you can say you have people saying that with legitimate straight faces, but my whole thing is put your children in there and would you feel the same way? So it just feels like it's all about the ratings. I mean, I was gonna say something.
The ratings, with the ratings comes the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's important to call attention to the part where she talks about her and the other guy, Carson, doing their book deal at the same time, and like
they're friends. Essentially.
And that's why, as much as I want to come down on the conservatives, it can be just as bad on the liberal side. They may say more things that we agree with, but they also can be just as sensationalized, just as only out there to get attention, to make money, to get views. And I think it was this was the best part about this finale and this whole season for me, was getting Sam to confront herself and kind of look in the mirror and see kind of the path she's going on and kind of think about more, like really think about her actions, and which is kind of what we've seen as the throughput of what basically this season is about. It's about Sam growing. But that to me was I was not expecting that. I was expecting that scene to go completely differently. But I'm glad that it went that way.
You expect her to get Sam to read her, and
I thought they were gonna like argue. I didn't think she was gonna start crying, but I thought they would have like some intense debate or something like that. But
yeah, it's interesting how she flipped it. She said like, you know, you're on the same. She's like, I listened to the alt right people, or whatever they are, and I started listening to your show, and I was very intrigued. And you know, you can eventually be the Carson, which made Sam kind of like. It's I don't know if you guys ever experienced that. It's like there's a certain point in your life where you have the purist mentality where, like, for instance, I wanted the utopia of, you know, black people getting together, and I want, you know, good people to generally live together. Then you realize that that's not going to happen, and we're in reality, and there's that kind of switch that goes off where, you know, not every person is a good person. And I think that's the moment where Sam realized that, like, you know, my intentions are great, but you know, the pathway that I'm going on might not get me to the end goal.
I think the way that you say something matters just as much as as what you're saying. Did I say that right? Yeah. So you can be saying the most important truth to someone, but if you are expressing it in a way that they are not going to hear you, you're wasting your time.
Yeah. Or you're just talking to the masses.
Yeah. Or you're just talking to hear yourself talk.
Right.
So another thing too, right before that happened, I noticed the dean, he went into the cops and they were kind of getting, you saw that point where they're getting ready for those kids, which makes me wonder too, is if that's the case with other events that happen. So for instance, like BET weekend that's happening this weekend. Is that something where cops are getting ready for those people?
For sure.
Right.
I mean...
So sad.
Probably. I would assume that they would have those type of meetings for any large event or gathering of people. I'm sure that they did it for all of the sports games and stuff too. But I'm sure that it's a different meeting for.
Would it be different in South Dakota versus Chicago?
Oh yeah, of course. Just a different environment.
Just I was hoping we were different outcome.
Well,
I just don't. I don't want to. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything.
go ahead.
Say it.
I mean, I am not.
Like, say it. She's
I
like,
am not pro-police in any way. I'm actually very anti-cops. But when you have rappers like 6ix9ine running around inviting violence, I would be concerned if he was coming to my place and I had to secure it. I would be concerned. I would have some type of meeting to be like, this guy is acting
Crazy.
a fool and asking people who are really about it and we know are violent to perpetuate violence towards him.
Well, it's different when somebody's inviting it, but it's also different where
Yes,
it's an
this
event.
is a completely different
Right.
scenario. These are
Right.
students on a school organizing a lecture. They're going to go sit down. Yeah.
And it's
So-
also interesting the things that we don't necessarily know about the cops and the meetings that they have. A lot of the times when we look at police brutality, we're just looking at it from the gaze of like, this cop is racist and he did this. But I just started listening to, Torre has a podcast and it's one about going in behind them with the NYPD, but they're just talking about how they do have meetings where you're told to specifically go after black people and to lock them up. And so it is like a system
quota
kind of
sometimes.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad. So essentially, Sergio comes out. He's supposed to be introducing Ricky. Then he realizes that there's a crowd full of black people, and he essentially just moves on. And Ricky comes out, and they're all her peers. Seems like she should have peed her pants. But what do you think of that kind of twist? And Kurt actually helping Coco. Like, do you think that Coco approached him and she got it through sleeping with him, or do you think they got it done and then they just so happened to like each other and then they ended up in bed?
That can go either way. I have no idea.
question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I feel like she talked to him. Kurt saw like something that he saw, and
so they could have used each other.
yeah. So what do you think? What's gonna be happening in season 3?
Well, I mean, I like that Coco was so instrumental in organizing that. So I don't know. I mean, I would predict that Coco might maybe even like start to butt heads with Ricky or something. That's maybe my theory or prediction. Maybe she might get elevated to like a national kind of thing. But I don't know. I have no idea.
There's that face again. All right. All right, let's hit it, dear white people. What do you want to start off first, or you want to kind of hit the end?
Oh, you guys go first.
Okay. All right, dear white people.
you guys go first always means I go first. And
But you're always so good with it, though.
nope, dear white people, I don't have many more words to say. I mean, there's so much going on in the world. It's still room for like happiness and gladness. And yesterday was, Juneteenth.
Yes, it was.
We didn't even get a chance to really celebrate that. So, maybe let's set ourselves up for next year to acknowledge that as well.
Amen. I forget every time.
Right.
I'm like, dear white people, don't use black people.
Keeping it simple.
Right.
Because we talked about cops, dear all sworn law enforcement, if you are not actively trying to stop bad cops, corrupt cops, all of that stuff that happens and that you see happen, you are part of the problem.
Do you have one?
Okay, yeah. This is from something I saw on my Facebook feed.
Okay.
Dear white people, don't take pictures with children from poorer countries or developing nations on your vacation or your volunteer vacation, yoga retreat, whatever.
Yes.
So your yoga retreat. I know that's right. Your yoga retreat or whatever.
Oh wow. Dear people, educate yourself. That's it. All right.
Well, it's been a season.
It has been a season. Wow. Yeah. I feel like we as a panel have grown, so we'll definitely be with each other next. Well, unless everybody goes off to bigger and better jobs, we'll definitely understand. That'll be understandable. Other than that, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Rudy Martinez LA, like Los Angeles. And my Twitter is the same, Rudy Martinez LA.
All right, handsome one
You can follow me everywhere at Keith_Andre.
and beautiful one.
And again, I'm Ivanna. You all can follow me on Twitter at Ivanna L. Williams and on Instagram at Ivanna.Williams.
The fourth Migo.
I'm Nate Miller. You can find me on all social media at Dog Like Nate.
And you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. We definitely appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you for hopping on the live chat, all those comments. Also, you guys should read the comments from last season. People have been actually watching back, and like new people.
Oh, nice.
Some of them are really interesting. I've kind of had to clap back on a few of them. But other than that, really appreciate you guys for hopping in on us. We will see you at season 3, unless we all get really big jobs, and then just hit us up on our Instagram, all that good stuff. At TK Trinidad. Other than that, we'll see you when you see you.
Later.
Ciao.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.